Well, today we got a bunch. We had a bunch going on. It's actually the end of the day. Didn't record anything, but we were working on the ship pump. I do a little bit of work on it. Still not completely done. We went through. The PTO was sticking because we caught the guard, and then I had to pull the PTO apart and cut the inside one shorter because right here it was flipped around and the pin came up, and you can see it happened here. It was actually rubbing that, so then it wouldn't slide in and out. So I pulled it out, cut it, got that fixed. It's still on there at least, but we flipped the PTO around, so if it does it again, it just does it on the side, like right there, and it doesn't matter. Well, I mean, we still have to order these, or not these, the beacon lights, because we're gonna switch those over. That one's broken anyways. It didn't work anymore. And then I'll get this put on. I think there's some bolt brackets that go on to all this that we need, but we also have, because in the back, there's the license plate light. We're just putting that on because that way there's no gap and hole, because the ones that were on there actually got smashed and broken, so it's not like we could just stick them in there to fill in the hole, which would have been on this plate. Right in there. We didn't want that hole open the whole time, so we're gonna put those new lights in, even though there's no license plate on this because this is America. And then hopefully it's good to go. Well, I started on this. Marcus actually had to go down, so he left, but getting stuff unplugged for these lights. I actually gotta fully remove the lights now. Pull them all the way off because the lights actually are, well, the brackets hold on the plastic that I gotta replace, so gotta change out. Take this top bolt off. That's right. Okay, the camera is on it. Take that bolt off, pull that off, and then gotta do the same on this side. And the back piece technically would be good to go on. I do have new seals. We did buy those too. I just didn't show it. And then I gotta pull both side ones off. This actually shouldn't take too long. I'm gonna clean all this. I don't know if it's, that's just snaplage and corn. I don't know if it just blew in from underneath or how it got in there, but we'll get that cleaned out. And this kind of right here was the biggest structural damage on this tractor. It's the end of the world. I can't even sleep at night because of that. But no, I'll pull this bolt off. If I have to get it to bend at the right spot, I'll heat it, because I can just move the harness right out of the way. Or if I just put a pipe wrench on it, maybe it'll just twist right there anyways. Either way, we'll get that straightened out. That way it looks like this side again. And literally, that is actually the only structural damage. The rest is just cosmetic crap. You can see where the building, oh, there's a little bump right here. But yeah, for having the whole building fall on it right here, that head, not the header, the rafters falling on it, could have been a lot worse, so not complaining. That looked like it was, oh, that was the other washer. I saw where it fell. She jumped. I gotta get the washer, which is right there. One's still here. If it shows you how strong this piece is, I just basically bent it all the way back with just my Leatherman. It's a little sideways right now, so I think I gotta go a little bit more, but bend a little bit more back level, and then I gotta twist it straight because it's kicked out a little bit. But there wasn't much there. Got that beacon off. Got that one front bolt loose. I think that's all that really. Oh, look at that. There's a nest in there. Oh. Junk. Oh, that's been removed. So I didn't miss any bolts, luckily. It's just that one up front, these two beacon brackets. So we're gonna get the other side taken off, and then I'll hit all this with the blower. And make it nice and clean. We'll see what seals we gotta put on, because you can see when I was pulling that off, it was stuck right to this. So we'll get it all sealed back up before we put the new stuff on, but I gotta get the other side off still. Well, on this side, the front bolt was already gone. So the only thing holding it on was these two. This side does have the flapper for the cabin air filter, but the new piece comes with that. So we will pull this off. There. If it wasn't broken, it definitely is now. That's junk. Alrighty, so you got both pieces off. Should put a new filter in. This thing is garbage. So now we are putting the second beacon on. I see the connecting is not the exact same as the ones we got. Must be because, well, either they just updated the connection port, or this is European style and the one we got was a US. Anyways, I'll make it connect in my own way. So that's all that. See, some of this is a little ripped from all the applied pressure, but could have been a hell of a lot worse. Not complaining. We're back in the shop. We got done those mats. That took 2 days. Henry is here. So, Ferdy's truck blew an antifreeze leak. All the hoses, one of them was leaking, and then we found out every antifreeze hose on this basically is really soft, so we're getting those changed out. We're doing the roof on this now. We're blowing that crap off, and then I gotta finish pulling that rubber gasket off. We'll get this done. And then, I guess I didn't record it, but one of the reman injectors actually ended up being bad, but those just came in yesterday. So that's getting put in today, hopefully, and this will be good to go. Gotta do the roof and the fuses that are corroded on this, and it should be good to go. What? What do you think, Henry? What? Is that Daddy's chopper? Yeah. Yeah, Roger will be coming soon, hopefully, to finish that up. We are working on getting those. These are the license plate lights. We're putting those in just so that the hole is filled up. You have the super monitor here.
He's dirty.
HR right there.
Good thing we're not paying him for that yet, but yes.
He is having a good time. We are working on this. I just got done cleaning everything up here. So I got that. I used the razor blade and scraped off all the rubber, and then I went through with a sanding wheel and got it polished up pretty good. There's a little dent here. We'll just have to use some extra silicone, and then the other side's actually a really big one. We're gonna use the same sealant that you use to put on a front windshield. Same stuff. They didn't tell us what to use, but it works on a window, so it sure as hell should work on holding some plastic down. We'll get it all mounted on the front tab and the side right here, and then we'll put some weight on it so it can dry and cure. Right. And then the back didn't have any. It had a different type of seal, but we're gonna just use the silicone also on the back, so that way no water, and not as much, because I mean there's always a little bit of way of water to get in there, but that way not as much water sweeps into here, and then when you open the window, the water doesn't go down into the cab. Because it was doing that last year, but there was no gasket there anymore. So that's how we're gonna do this. We did get these things too, which you see right here.
Oh, is that where that one goes?
Yes, but I have honestly no clue how that... Does it just go on this thing?
I really don't know.
But it doesn't look like that's right. They're just kind of sitting here, doing their own thing. Maybe it's to guide water.
Could be. Guide water to the back.
Make sure the water comes back here. But these ones aren't, that might be what it is because that guides it to the front. Yeah. Anyways, we cleaned them out. They're doing their thing. We're not going to change them.
Okay.
We went to Napa real quick. We got to get new of whatever those are. They clamp on and then they have their own nut on the bottom. That way we can bolt it together. Henry is just yelling for me. Those must have took off with the panels that were removed. But we got to get 3 of those. We did have one still in the front, but that front one was gone and both back ones were. But nothing serious. We placed it in here, made sure everything went together because it kind of has to lock in up here. Made sure the bolts would go in before we actually silicone everything. Not that we have everything sticky.
And yes, you want to be on camera. We get it. For God's sake.
Well, someday it won't be this small. That way, when we go to put it together with all the silicone there, that we don't screw ourselves, that we can't line it up. So there, this little bit of dust just wasn't coming out, but it'll be fine. So I'll lift this up a little bit. So you can get... Yeah, that's enough. Jeez.
I didn't see it.
You gotta come this way a little. There.
I think we'll have to pull that over a little bit.
You look like you almost have never done this before.
Never have.
He doesn't like to use the guiding tip. That way.
You gotta push like.
Can you not say certain things?
Next time. Okay.
Yeah, I gotta bleep that out. Someone will take offense to it. Yeah. And then they'll ban my YouTube channel. People are too soft, bunch of snowflakes.
That's for sure.
That right there.
Rule in this country.
Amen. That right there is his smoothing tool.
Do I want to walk back off the track? No. We got a small one over there.
I just noticed the hole in the roof.
Oh, that's been.
I've never acknowledged it because I never think I've put it on camera. But that right there is because we opened the triple rake up in the shop.
Yes, we have.
And we didn't hit the valve soon enough to force it to start flipping open, and it went right through the ceiling. I can tell you we did after though. So we'll line that up. I gotta put the camera.
You keep it high up, as high as possible.
You put enough silicone there to plug a garden hose. What are you doing?
Nothing.
Keep pushing.
Is that good?
Keep going.
I think it's all we had.
Where's my bolt?
Oh, yeah, go.
I think you gotta go a little more because. Keep coming. There we go. Okay. Easy on. We just replaced this. Like we're in the process of it. I don't want to break it yet. Right there. That's how we do it. We don't wax our equipment. We just replace body panels. No. Nice and shiny again. Maybe if we hit it with a torch, it'll color change it.
Son of a bitch.
What the hell? Right? This is why we can't.
Fuck me. No, it's just.
Jeez, just get away from it. Can't have nice things. You know the ratchet on the other side has the right size.
That's good.
Well, we got two 4x4 pieces of steel sitting on the curbs. We did try to wipe a little bit of that silicone off, but you know, it will look good from 50 miles an hour in a car. Yes, Henry.
You like being on the.
You like the camera? Can you say hello? You want to tell them hi? No. See, when the camera gets on him, he's a little shy. You a little shy? Don't worry, if the camera's not on him, he's got enough energy. He's like the energy bunny. Right? Alright. So we'll get the other side done. And then the back is the last piece. And we'll have a new roof. I ordered my front headlights for the roof from Larson Lights. I also got them for the little 84. That one really needs it. That tractor has really bad lights. These aren't horrible, but because I'm already doing the work, I'm gonna put them on.
They have lights in my chopper.
Your chopper? He does. He only has 2 good lights on there, even though there's 6 up there. Only 2 of them are actually useful.
LEDs, yeah.
But the other lights we still got to get at some point. We just haven't yet. We got the roof bolted and glued, so it's drying right now after lunch here. I got it jacked up because I'm going to pull the wheel off and do the power cable fuse from the cab to the battery like we did on the other 2 tractors. Christoph got his parts from Charlie Boys for Ferdy's truck, so we are putting 2 new thermostats in it because we had to pull this off to get the hose that was it was this hose, right? The little one off the thermostats that was leaking?
Yeah, the little one. So I'm gonna change it. I changed it all.
While we had the assembly, because you couldn't get to this hose with it on there because of where the clamp was or something.
Yeah.
It was just a pain. So while we have it off, we figured we'd do the thermostats because we never actually had to pull it. And then while we're at it, leaking sucker. We are putting new water hoses everywhere. So the top one here, we're doing the one from here to the thermostat.
I think in that
The one on the bottom. Where are the other ones that you said you wanted to do?
and this hose in the right here.
I think there's one more. Oh yeah, these. There was 2 here for this. So one on the from the thermostat down, and then on the bottom half. So there's a couple.
We cut it, but you can see the inside.
This wasn't even the one that was leaking.
No, but it was ready to go. And then this side is pretty bad in there.
And then we were just gonna do these
You can
2.
hear the water inside the rubber.
We were just gonna do this one that was leaking and that one that we saw, because this was leaking right here.
This one is pretty shitty too.
And then I started poking them, and they just all felt.
These 2 would have been fine, but we already getting blue hoses
Yeah,
on
we
it.
were like, we can change everything to blue so that when we pop this hood, you know, to show it off, all the horsepower, just you see the blue hoses, and
That's why.
it's just, you're impressed. So now it's gonna have at least, each hose gives a minimum of 2 extra horsepower. The small ones, you know, that's 1 horsepower, but the big ones,
Yes.
at least 2 horsepower. So if you need if you think your engine is maxed out on power, make sure your hoses are blue, because you might gain a few.
Somebody's gonna die, can't really be true.
It's only, you gotta try it, and they'll believe us after they try it. So he's gonna get that finished up, and I'm gonna get this tire off because it's a lot easier to work, and they're super easy to pull off because they're so wide. You can just roll them out of the way, and they'll stay standing.
There. Let me check where it is. It is. Not in the head, no, it's in the outside.
Oh, it is. It's on top. I can see it.
It is so much bigger.
Yeah. Once you pull these tires off, you'll really see how big they are, because when they're under the tractor, it honestly doesn't look that big and impressive. But once you get someone standing next to it,
It's a big bitch.
it's huge. They're 800s. They pull really good when you have tread. It's when I had them bald a couple years ago. I think it's 3 years. This was one of the very first videos I did, was changing this. It was right in the beginning. But those sucked. But they're already getting wore
I
down.
guess you can blow it all out now. And then we'll run a new wire.
I think in that video I have
my hand like this, showing how much tread it had, but the amount of miles this thing gets, it's the most on the farm. It does all tanker on the road. So the cable, I gotta blow it off. We should honestly, when we wash it in the fall.
Take tie off.
Yeah, but I really don't want to. It's cold. If we had a wash bay, we would, but we don't. Look at that, that's souvenirs. That's how you remember what's gonna happen this year. Corn. This one right here it is.
Yep.
So I gotta change that out. Back here is where the fuse was. We're gonna plumb that back, pull that one out, and plumb the new one in. We'll clean all this crud off just for it to get covered in shit again.
Right.
While it's off, I might as well change this filter.
Do we have it here?
Yeah, I have it upstairs. This right here is the ground radar.
Clean that up a little bit.
That's already, the radar part's clean. I'll pull these 3 bolts off, change the filter out. It's easy right now. The tire's out of the way. I'm gonna get a jack stand real quick.
Safety one?
Yeah, the big one. Well, I had the medium. We used to have a big one. That got ran over by an employee. Didn't have to, but it happened. We used to have a nice one that was like this tall. It's no longer with us. But we got 2 medium ones that work pretty good, but definitely at some point we want to get 2 big ones again, because those are just the nicest. Those worked amazing for tractors, because it was just, that one would sit up here before you even extended it. So if you had something really high off the ground,
It was perfect.
it was really nice. So tractors, it worked great, and other stuff that was just taller. These ones struggle with the tractors a little bit because I wouldn't put it on the stud.
It'll just come down and hit that.
Yeah. So if something falls, it'll catch this. But the other one, you could get it nice and snug.
We could just lower it down a little bit. Safe.
Before anyone freaks out, we did lower the jack. So that's good now.
So Andreas left. He actually don't know where he went, but he left. I put the thermostats back on, put the cover back on. I got the bottom hose on. I just gotta tighten it, and then I had to change this hose too. We'll put that on, just like air hose that goes a vent so it can bleed when you fill it, pretty much. And then we'll put the rest of the new hoses on, and then hopefully this will be the last time we see this truck in here for a little while. Hopefully, we'll see. Yeah, it's a lot cleaner. Clean both sides up. They look a lot better. Now hopefully the new hoses should be better. They gave us a shitload of hose. Look at this. About almost 3 feet of each one. Guess we'll have plenty of spare for a little while.
We are back on this. It's the next day. I'm gonna get this out now. I just pulled the batteries. And then the roof is dried, so we'll finish up what we have here for that. We have everything but the actual beacon light. So I'll be able to finish the roof up, be able to put that on. We got Marcus here. It's Saturday, no school. You got big plans today? No manure spreading, right? Even though it's April 1st?
It is?
Today's April 1st, yeah. But it's a little wet out there.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it raining right now? And then on this truck, Christoph pulled the air cooler off, the air radiator, because they are packed full and plugged. You can't really blow them out when it's on there because you can't get in between it with the blower, so we just pulled it all the way off. They're both really plugged, so he's taping stuff up so we don't get it inside of them, and then he's going to blow it out. So I just blew this off. We are all cleaned out in here now. It was pretty packed in there. I mean, it's just all from this tractor. So it was clean when I started. So that's all cleaned out now. I actually didn't really have to do any work in there, but I just didn't want it rubbing against stuff in there since I already had the tire off to do that. Cable, might as well blow it out. I ran this already. That's all done. This is the new power cable. You can see it right there, and then it runs up into the cab. You can get it right there, or you can get it from the back. That's all ran, so we're gonna slap the batteries back in. I'm gonna go check if I have the filter. I'll do that real quick. There's one here, and there's one right here. Those two filters. And then there's also another one on the underneath the fuel tank. On the other side, that's hydraulic. If I have them all, I'll change them all. Otherwise, we'll have to get a couple. Got this basically all done. I didn't have that long filter, but I did have the canister one, and then I had the hydraulic one underneath by the fuel tank, so I did those two. It's not due for an oil change yet. I got the beacon stuff on there. I tested it with a beacon off the chopper, but we got 2 on there. They both work now. So when those come in, Christoph did order them. We'll put them on. I'm gonna probably go get my shit tank, so that way I can see what's with that. They're going through this. We never got around to tightening these bolts up, so we're doing that now. Marcus is going through greasing it. And we'll check if we have any plates we gotta weld on.
Or bearings.
Or wheel bearings. We never checked the wheel bearings when it was hanging in the shop. We should have, but we didn't. You know where all 6 grease fittings are under here? You saw them all when I was welding?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, did you get them already or no?
No, I just got the shell.
You got a little PTO so far? Are you waiting until the noise is done?
No, I'm waiting for him to get done. That's
what I said.
Yeah.
And then, to add to the day, the guy driving this didn't have it latched correctly, and it fell off. And the defacer decided to rip this off with it.
Sheesh.
This is an aftermarket piece. It's our second one. If you do decide to save some money, honestly, it's not worth it. Buy the factory one. These are pieces of shit. And normally I don't say that about much stuff, but honestly, don't waste your money trying to save money. Because with the second one, because the factory ones are so booked out, we had to get another aftermarket one. I welded up all the weak points, so there's no support stuff right here. So this is all steel that I welded in. This is, and then you can't see it, but right here I added an extra plate. Right here I added an extra plate, and then actually where it snapped again, I added an extra plate right here too. 1/4 inch. You got to be careful when you're doing right here, that way the lock mechanism still works. But I extra plated everything, and it honestly held pretty good until the defacer half ripped off, and then, you know, he hit a bump, it popped off, and then it just took it. But yes, this is just junk. Don't waste your money trying to save money here, because you're not gonna help yourself. Well, we had to pull these tractors out earlier because we worked on both of them, and the tank normally goes in there all winter, but because we had to change stuff around this winter because of the shed, my tank got left outside. But we're gonna put the drawbar on, and then we'll hook her on. I got the drawbar down and unhooked. The other one, Christoph's slipping in the big boy with the ball. We have 2 drawbars for this, one that has the ball and then one that's the normal one. It's the European setup, so it's very easy. You can see, I can just suck it in and out. Very nice. Maybe Christoph will show it hook up from down there.
See if you can hit it. Oh, look at that, one shot. Wasn't too bad. All hooked up. Now just gonna put all the shit on it.
Well, I forgot about the camera. Honestly, we were doing a bunch here. So, brought this back, serviced it. Basically ready to go. I gotta put on the blinker wire so the blinkers all work. We have our old box spreader here. We actually got some wheel bearings on it. We put a section of new floor in the back foot. Just a little bit was bad. It needs a couple wheel bearings, air in the tire. I gotta air all these tires up still, but got everything ready here so that it's ready to go. We have to do a bunch of welding still on the Bodco. We didn't get that done yet. And then there was some the baffles are mangled in there, even though we just welded them in last year. And then this was in that tank. This is feed lime, so it's like more like sand. Back probably 10 years ago, I think we stopped the last 8 or 10 years. We used to use a lot of that in front of our brisket boards, but we took them out of the barn. We used to pack it in front, and that was still in the pit. And last year at the end, we were really agitating it a lot. So we got a bunch in the tanks. That feed lime is basically the same as sand, like material wise. It just packs in tanks, so we don't use it anymore. But we got that out of there. Mine didn't have any in it. We normally never have to shovel them out. I think I went 5 years without pulling anything out of this tank, and then 2 years ago I took out like a wheelbarrow full. So, and then this year there's still none. But that messed up baffle in there was catching everything. But that'll probably be it for tonight, and probably it for this video. What do you think, Marcus? You want to say anything for the end of the video? Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Until the next one, right?
Yep.